This is THV 11 News at 6.
Well, we start tonight in Searcy, where 72-year-old David Strassner is now behind bars, accused of human trafficking. Investigators say he targeted women who were struggling with addiction or otherwise vulnerable. And alongside those charges, also facing multiple drug possession charges.
Joseph Schwartz, meanwhile, has been granted parole less than a month after he was ordered to report to state prison. He was previously pardoned by President Trump for federal charges, but was serving time for state Medicaid fraud and tax evasion. Attorney General Tim Griffin says his office is reviewing the board's decision.
Hello, and thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Faith Woodard alongside Brooke Buckner and meteorologist Nathan Scott.
Nathan, we know it's about to get really cold. How cold are we talking?
Well, we've been telling you over the past couple days that we're going to see a blast of Arctic air moving to the natural state. Today's highs, we're into the 50s, but look what I'm expecting Sunday morning.
18.
Ouch, yeah, that is going to be a stinger when you step outside Sunday morning. You have to bundle up, maybe single digits in the coldest valleys of the Ozarks. So we have made it a THV 11 weather impact alert day for Saturday night into Sunday morning. Temperatures are expected to be into the teens. There could be some single-digit wind chills, so make sure you layer up the hats, the gloves, the scarves, and also stream those faucets. And don't forget the pets. Bring them inside if possible. We had a front make its way through this afternoon, still producing maybe a little bit of light rain or some drizzle, primarily into East Arkansas and also the potential in Southeast Arkansas. There's the winds picking up across the River Valley. This evening, the temperatures will slide from the 40s eventually into the 30s. Lows tonight settling down into the mid to upper 20s from Little Rock and off to the north, but even folks down to South Arkansas will start off the day into the 30s. Now here's the problem. That cold Arctic air will continue to filter its way in throughout the day on Saturday. Partly sunny. It's going to be a windy day, and temperatures in North Arkansas will barely climb above freezing. Here in Central Arkansas, most of the day will be spent into the 30s. Highs may manage to climb up to around 41 or 42 degrees. I'll let you know how long this cold snap will be sticking around coming up.
All right, thank you, Nathan. Starting next month, those of you planning to fly without a real ID or another acceptable form of ID will have to pay extra to get through security.
The fee would allow for you to use what's called TSA Confirm ID, but even then they say ID verification is not guaranteed. THV 11's Catherine Rowley is live at Clinton National Airport. Catherine, what more do we need to know about this change?
Hey, Faith and Brooke. So what's important to know is that it will be a $45 fee if you don't have a real ID or another form of identification like a passport. We've been here since around 3:30 this afternoon, and we've seen multiple signs going into the checkpoint asking, are you real ID ready? We asked you that before last May when real IDs went into effect. And then it's followed up by a video talking about the new fee. Again, it's $45 per person if you don't have a real ID. The goal is to shift the cost from taxpayers to the individual person. That also means that you'll be able to fly for 10 days without having to pay an extra $45. But once that 10 days up, you have to pay that $45 again. Now, you can get a real ID at the Arkansas Department of Revenue for $40, and that's good for 8 years. At 10, I talked to TSA about why the change and what impacts we could see at these airports, especially with Valentine's Day coming up or spring break. So we hope you stick around and watch at 10 to hear more from TSA. At Clinton National Airport, Catherine Rowley, THV 11 News.
Catherine, thank you. Tonight we're taking a closer look at crime numbers here in Central Arkansas, starting with Pine Bluff. The city says overall crime there was down 7% last year compared to 2024. They saw a decrease in commercial burglaries, residential burglaries, simple assaults, and thefts. But
saw an increase in aggravated assaults, rape, and robberies. Two categories remain the same. Those are homicides with one and vehicle thefts. And in Jacksonville, crime was reportedly down nearly 13% compared to the year prior, but compared to 2021, it was down nearly 34%.
Most categories like homicides, shootings, commercial burglaries, motor vehicle theft, and residential burglaries were all down, but 2025 did see more arrests and DWIs.
Meanwhile, Kyle Day and his legal team are in fact preparing to appeal the judge's ruling that his opponent, Missy Wardlaw, can remain on the ballot in District 94. She is running to replace her husband, Jeff Wardlaw, for that House seat in Southeast Arkansas. Kyle Day is challenging her eligibility based on an old hot check charge and an election law that disqualifies people convicted of crimes like that.
Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders announced that Arkansas will participate in the federal tax credit scholarship program for school choice next year through President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill. Starting January 1st next year, individual taxpayers can claim up to $1,700 to pay for elementary and secondary expenses. In a statement, the governor said she's excited about the move and says pairing it with the EFA program established from the LEARNS Act will give families more education options than ever before. President Trump has also unveiled a new $50 billion program designed to ensure rural communities have access to health care facilities. All 50 states will receive at least $100 million a year over the next 5 years. The money is meant to shore up health care coverage in rural communities where many hospitals have closed or are facing financial strain.
These funds will go to empowering rural hospitals, strengthening their workforce, modernizing facilities and technology, and ensuring that rural Americans get world-class health care in their own community, right smack in their own community.
Many Democratic lawmakers say they support the Rural Health Care Initiative, but point out that the $50 billion program pales in comparison to the more than $1 trillion in cuts to Medicaid Republicans passed in the One Big Beautiful Bill.
Well, a few weeks ago, THV 11 told you about Arkansas Act 628, a new law requiring insurance companies statewide to cover weight loss surgery for people who needed it. But as THV 11 Carter 3 found out today, there are mixed reviews on how well it's actually working.
I can cross my legs. I have less asthma, less joint pain. I can carry my granddaughters up the stairs.
For Christine Wan of El Dorado, bariatric surgery was a life changer. She got it at the Arkansas Heart Hospital in Bryant with Dr. Samuel Bledsoe.
We turn their lives around by giving them their health back, giving them a healthy weight back, and getting them off some of those medications and having them be more involved in their life.
Bledsoe says these surgeries are important for quality of life, life expectancy, and more. It's why he talked to lawmakers to help pass Act 628, requiring insurance plans to cover the surgery if you have a BMI of 40 or more.
We're already seeing an influx of people who are asking for checking of benefits. Here, what does this look like for me? Am I covered completely by it?
But for some, they may not like the answers. Kyla Brakebill of North Little Rock meets the law's qualifications, but got some bad news from roller weight loss in Fayetteville.
She said, you know, this involves you also, and unfortunately they're adding a $25,000 deductible. They say that it's non-essential.
Roller, along with Saline Memorial Hospital and a bariatric surgeon at Baptist Health, all confirm they've seen similar situations lately. They say it's happening to people who use the AR Home program, which uses Medicaid dollars to get either Blue Cross Blue Shield or Ambetter insurance for you. Both Brakebill and Robert Davidson of Ward use Blue Cross Blue Shield.
They make you think they're going to help you, you know, to be able to get this, and in the end, that's not the story.
Arkansas Blue Cross couldn't provide an on-camera interview, but told me over the phone their hands were tied because the federal government considers this surgery non-essential and won't pay for it, and the state couldn't take on this heavy cost. So to comply with this new law, they had to use the deductible system that patients like Brakebill and Ward say prices them out.
I cannot afford that at all.
I'm just heartbroken, absolutely heartbroken.
For THV 11 News, I'm Carter Thweet.
Both patients showed us paperwork that listed the surgery as costing roughly $19,000 out of pocket, meaning it would be cheaper to pay for it themselves than use insurance and pay that deductible. Blue Cross Blue Shield also provided us with a statement that further explains its reasoning. You can find that on THV11.com. Meanwhile, tonight, the Lamar School District has confirmed a case of whooping cough, also known as pertussis, involving a student. Working with the Arkansas Department of Health, the district has completed contact tracing. Families of close contacts are being notified directly by phone and letter. If you haven't been contacted, no action is needed right now. Student privacy is being protected as health officials continue follow up. Well, doctors are also warning parents to keep an eye out for symptoms of other emerging and re-emerging infectious diseases, especially ones that spread easily. One doctor has a list of the top 5 he is expected to see a rise in cases with. Number 1 is measles, and so far this year there have already been 171 confirmed cases, though none of those are in Arkansas. Next is avian flu. Third is a family of contagions called filovirus, which includes Ebola and Marburg virus. Fourth is mpox, and fifth is insect-borne illnesses that spread through mosquitoes and ticks.
All of these infectious disease threats, the reason we don't have to worry about them is not because they vanished, it's because we have tools that we have deployed to control them.
That tool is vaccinations, but health officials say lower vaccination rates are becoming more common across the U.S.
If you've driven by the Buc-ee's construction in Benton and saw crews clearing the land right next to it, that's because it's going to be home to a new RV park and soccer complex. The chair of Benton's A&P Commission says it will draw more people into Saline County. The city is almost at the halfway point for this 10-year project, also known as Benton Thomas Park. Eldridge says there's even more developments planned in the coming years.
We have a few more years before we have all this property along the river all the way up to Lyle Park on Highway 5. We will have a river trail along from the RV park all the way up there, and I think that they tell me it's going to be about a 6-mile trail. So something that'll be a great quality of life enhancement.
As for the soccer complex and RV park, he expects it to be finished in the next 2 years. Also in Benton, community groups are coming together for a unity parade tomorrow morning. Neighbors, churches, schools, and others are encouraged to join in, with people, vehicles, and floats all welcome. It's free to join, with lineup beginning at 9:15 at C.W. Lewis Stadium. The parade starts at 10 o'clock, but you may want to bundle up, right, Nathan?
Well, you certainly want to bundle up on Saturday, because here's what's going to feel like, and this is the forecast for Little Rock, with lots of clouds around. The wind chills, those gusty winds, it's going to feel like the upper 20s to lower 30s throughout the morning, and those wind chill numbers only peak into the mid 30s. Actual air temperatures primarily into the upper 30s to lower 40s. This cold weather sticks around into the rest of the weekend. I'll have more on the complete forecast and also talk about the chance of rain or precipitation going up later next week.